Former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, and former Governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, both of whom were co-contestants as presidential candidates in the last presidential election in Nigeria, have reacted to the state of emergency and suspension of elected government in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with Atiku accusing and describing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a vested partisan actor in the political turmoil engulfing Rivers State. According to Atiku Abubakar, the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State reeks of political manipulation and outright bad faith. Anyone paying attention to the unfolding crisis knows that Bola Tinubu has been a vested partisan actor in the political turmoil engulfing Rivers. His blatant refusal or calculated negligence in preventing this escalation is nothing short of disgraceful. Beyond the political scheming in Rivers, the brazen security breaches that led to the condemnable destruction of national infrastructure in the state land squarely on the president's desk. Tinubu cannot evade responsibility for the chaos his administration has either enabled or failed to prevent. It is an unforgivable failure that under Tinubu's watch, the Niger Delta has been thrown back into an era of violent unrest and instability, undoing the hard-won peace secured by the late President Umaru Yar'Adua. Years of progress have been recklessly erased in pursuit of selfish political calculations. If federal infrastructure in Rivers has been compromised, the president bears full responsibility. Punishing the people of Rivers State just to serve the political gamesmanship between the governor and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's enablers in the federal government is nothing less than an assault on democracy and must be condemned in the strongest terms. Peter Obi said, "It is unfortunate that, 60 years after independence and nearly 30 years of our celebrated unbroken civil rule, our democracy is still marred by undemocratic practices and values. A significant percentage of our elections are deeply flawed, manipulated to serve the interests of a select few rather than reflecting the true will of the people. Governance at most levels does not reflect the genuine values and aspirations of the people because the welfare of the citizens is often neglected in practice." Looking at the ongoing crisis in Rivers State, we see yet another glaring example of how our democracy and governance is not serving its purpose, the welfare of the people of Rivers State. The disagreement is not about improving the measurable indices of development, education, healthcare, or lifting people out of poverty, but rather for reasons that do not in any way benefit the people of Rivers State and Nigeria in general. I fully understand the impact of what is happening in Rivers State. The real losers are the people, their welfare and the future of the society the children will live in. My respectful appeal to all those involved is to reconsider their positions and reflect on the grace God has bestowed upon them as leaders. They must think about the suffering people of Rivers State and work towards a better future for their children. My commitment remains to continuously remember them in earnest prayers and to advocate for their well-being. I also appeal to well-meaning Nigerians and the federal government, in the spirit of true democracy and good governance, to use their offices to restore normalcy and bring an end to this crisis. We had reported that the Nigeria President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a nationwide broadcast on Tuesday evening, for the first time more than a decade in the history of the West Africa country, declared a state of emergency in Rivers State and suspended for initial 6 months the Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Odu, all elected members of the State House of Assembly, and appointed retired Vice Admiral Ibokette Ibas as administrator to work with the existing laws of Rivers State with the members of the state judiciary following the apparent personal political crisis between the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his former boss and the immediate past governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, who is currently the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, that was seen a few days ago in a viral video apparently making carless statements as a government official, statements capable of instigating a particular ethnic group against the government, wherein the FCT Minister has said thus, that Ijaw people, a minority group in the South, and if their son, Fubara, is impeached, nothing would happen. After the statements, Wike refused to apologize to the Ijaw people despite public outcry and condemnations, days after, as confirmed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some militants started destroying crude oil pipelines in Rivers State as media reports trends. Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a nationwide broadcast on Tuesday evening, for the first time more than a decade in the history of the West Africa country, declared a state of emergency in Rivers State and suspended for initial 6 months the Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Odu, all elected members of the State House of Assembly, and appointed retired Vice Admiral Ibokette Ibas as administrator to work with the existing laws of Rivers State with the members of the state judiciary following the apparent personal political crisis between the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his former boss and the immediate past governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, who is currently the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, that was seen a few days ago in a viral video apparently making carless statements as a government official. Statements capable of instigating a particular ethnic group against the government, wherein the FCT Minister has said thus, that Ijaw people, a minority group in the South, and if their son, Fubara, is impeached, nothing would happen. After the statements, Wike refused to apologize to the Ijaw people despite public outcry and condemnations. Days after, as confirmed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some militants started destroying crude oil pipelines in Rivers State as media reports trends and indicated that pro-Wike lawmakers may have concluded plans to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Details of the words of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the nationwide broadcast of the state of emergency declaration in Rivers State reads verbatim below as made available by one of the spokespersons to the president on media, Bayo Onanuga. Text of the broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, declaring state of emergency in Rivers State on Tuesday the 18th of March 2025. Fellow Nigerians, I feel greatly disturbed at the turn we have come to regarding the political crisis in Rivers State. Like many of you, I have watched with concern the development with the hope that the parties involved would allow good sense to prevail at the soonest, but all that hope burned out without any solution to the crisis. With the crisis persisting, there is no way democratic governance, which we have all fought and worked for over the years, can thrive in a way that will redound to the benefit of the good people of the state. The state has been at a standstill since the crisis started, with the good people of the state not being able to have access to the dividends of democracy. Also, it is public knowledge that the Governor of Rivers State, for unjustifiable reasons, demolished the House of Assembly of the state as far back as the 13th of December 2023 and has, up until now, 14 months after, not rebuilt same. I have made personal interventions between the contending parties for a peaceful resolution of the crisis, but my efforts have been largely ignored by the parties to the crisis. I am also aware that many well-meaning Nigerians, leaders of thought and patriotic groups have also intervened at various times with the best of intentions to resolve the matter, but all their efforts were also to no avail. Still, I thank them. On February 28, 2025, the Supreme Court, in a judgment in respect of about 8 consolidated appeals concerning the political crisis in Rivers State, based on several grave unconstitutional acts and disregard of rule of law that have been committed by the Governor of Rivers State as shown by the evidence before it, pronounced in very clear terms. A government cannot be said to exist without one of the 3 arms that make up the government of a state under the 1999 Constitution as amended. In this case, the head of the executive arm of the government has chosen to collapse the legislature to enable him to govern without the legislature as a despot. As it is, there is no government in Rivers State. The above pronouncement came after a catalogue of judicial findings of constitutional breaches against the Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Going forward in their judgment, and having found and held that 27 members of the House who had allegedly defected are still valid members of Rivers State House of Assembly and cannot be prevented from participating in the proceedings of that House by the 8th respondent, that is, the Governor, in cohorts with 4 members. The Supreme Court then made some orders to restore the state to immediate constitutional democracy. These orders include the immediate passing of an appropriation bill by the Rivers State House of Assembly, which up till now has not been facilitated. Some militants had threatened fire and brimstone against their perceived enemy of the governor, who has up till now not disowned them. Apart from that, both the House and the governor have not been able to work together. Both of them do not realize that they are in office to work together for the peace and good governance of the state. The latest security reports made available to me show that between yesterday and today there have been disturbing incidents of vandalization of pipelines by some militant without the governor taking any action to curtail them. I have, of course, given stern order to the security agencies to ensure safety of lives of the good people of Rivers State and the oil pipelines. With all these and many more, no good and responsible president will stand by and allow the grave situation to continue without taking remedial steps prescribed by the Constitution to address the situation in the state, which no doubt requires extraordinary measures to restore good governance, peace, order and security. In the circumstance, having soberly reflected on and evaluated the political situation in Rivers State and the governor and deputy governor of Rivers State having failed to make a request to me as president to issue this proclamation as required by Section 305(5) of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, the 18th of March 2025, and I so do. By this declaration, the Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly of Rivers State are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Ibokette Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state in the interest of the good people of Rivers State. For the avoidance of doubt, this declaration does not affect the judicial arm of Rivers State, which shall continue to function in accordance with the constitutional mandate. The administrator will not make any new laws. He will, however, be free to formulate regulations as may be found necessary to do his job, but such regulations will need to be considered and approved by the Federal Executive Council and promulgated by the President for the state. This declaration has been published in the Federal Gazette, a copy of which has been forwarded to the National Assembly in accordance with the Constitution. It is my fervent hope that this inevitable intervention will help to restore peace and order in Rivers State by awakening all the contenders to the constitutional imperatives binding on all political players in Rivers State in particular and Nigeria as a whole. Long live a united, peaceful, secure, and democratic Rivers State in particular and the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a whole.
All this and maybe lost peace. All this Asawana will die. And the Lord has spoken. All this and let me tell you something. And people should have that right. Ijaw does not constitute the majority of the Niger Delta. People must speak the truth. Heaven will not fall. He only died once, not 2 times. Ijaw does not constitute the majority of the Niger Delta. What nonsense every day you wake up? Ijaw will do this. In Akwa Ibom, Ijaw cannot be governor. In Delta, Ijaw is the minority of the minority. With all due respect to our late elder sister, Edwin Clark, he's from Delta. He had never produced Ijaw man to the governor of Delta. He had never. The only place Ijaw man can solely be governor is in Bayelsa State. Not in Edo, not in Rivers, a minority of the minority. Out of our own benevolence.
Following widely media reported case of alleged abuse of the Naira, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested and detained Kelly Akumboa aka Ebo Stone, the coordinator of the Edo State Public Safety Response Team, the government agency that was suspended a few days ago by the state governor, Monday Okpebholo, over extortion, harassment and unruly behavior, days after a baby girl was killed when an official of the PSR allegedly dragged steering wheel with the bus driver of a moving vehicle. The Edo State government official, Ebo Stone was seen in a video spraying freshly minted Naira notes on two strippers at a party said to be the launching ceremony for his own recreational center named Ebo Stone Capacity Food Plug in Benin recently. EFCC, in a statement made available on Monday evening, titled, EFCC arrests Kelly Akumboa, aka Ebo Stone, for alleged Naira abuse, said the suspect would be charged to court soon after investigation is completed. According to the statement, operatives of the Benin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Monday, March 17, 2025 arrested Kelly Akumboa, aka Ebo Stone, for alleged Naira abuse. Akumboa, who until recently was the coordinator of the Edo State Public Safety Response Team, PSRT, now suspended by the state government, was arrested owing to a viral video where he was seen spraying and mutilating the Naira at a bar on March 9, 2025. He will be charged to court as soon as investigations are completed. In other issue, we had reported that the coordinator of the Edo State Public Safety Response Team, PSR, Kelly Akumboa aka Ebo Stone, the PSR team that was suspended on Friday indefinitely by the state government, has debunked rumors and speculations that one of the PSR officials that was lynched by mob over the death of a 2-year-old baby girl in Benin City on Wednesday after the official allegedly dragged steering wheel with the bus driver of a moving vehicle is dead. Speaking with the PSR official at an undisclosed hospital in Benin City, Ebo Stone said he decided to do a video press release with the victim at the hospital bed to prove to those, apparently happy over the unfortunate incident, that the PSR official is not dead. We had reported that the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, has indefinitely suspended the operational activities of the State Public Safety Response Team, PSR, days after an official of the PSR allegedly dragged steering wheel with the driver of a moving bus, leading to an accident that killed a 2-year-old baby in Benin City. The state coordinator of the PSR, Kelly Akumboa aka Ebo Stone, reacted and said he supported the governor for the PSR suspension. Some residents who witnessed the cause of the accident on Wednesday said one of the PSR officials, simply identified as Abacha, was seen dragging the steering wheel of a moving vehicle with the bus driver, and suddenly, the vehicle veered off the road and snatched the 2-year-old baby girl from her mother, who is a POS operator, and smashed the little girl on the road pavement. Edo State Government, in a statement signed and made available by the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Musa Ikila, stated that the decision was taken based on several complaints received by the state government on allegations of extortion, harassment and unruly behavior by members of the team. We had reported that the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has confirmed the killing of a 2-year-old baby after a bus driver rammed the bus into a group of pedestrians while running away from the Edo State Public Safety Response Team, PSR, at the highly populated Ring Road in Benin City. The state coordinator of the PSR, Kelly Akumboa aka Ebo Stone, apologized to the bereaved family and promised to take action against the PSR official who allegedly gave the bus driver a chase. The police, in a statement on Thursday, said the PSR official was almost lynched to death by angry mob, but he was rescued due to the quick intervention of the men of the Esigi Police Division, adding that the tragic incident involves a white vaned bus with registration number VEN 406 ramming into some pedestrians, ostensibly to evade arrest by members of the Edo State Public Safety Response.
Osazuwa Media, bringing you the news in a more digital way.